sure all of our channels are working properly. We are streaming Twitter. We usually host these sessions on Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, open to the public on all of our social media platforms. We also host another 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I appreciate y'all for joining us. A lot going on. So I hope everybody's staying. We're getting our production game on. Game on. The productions. Yo, 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 what is going on? We got Crystal in the house. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Sammy, Brandon. Anybody else watching the playback? I missed y'all last week. We had missed last week. Everybody up to the day. What is going on? What? Let's see. Let's see. What is going on? What's good?
I'm good.
I can't tell if you're at work or not.
Good. No, I'm at home.
Oh, okay.
At home. Yeah, I was at work earlier, so.
Okay. So you did get some work in today. I was gonna say, I was like, Mondays be slow, huh? Someone says she doesn't work. Damn.
You should.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of sets the pace for the rest of the week. Really?
Not really much. I know, like a volleyball tournament type thing, so all the family is going to be going down there to, cheer on and everything. So that's what we plan on doing.
When is that? That's this weekend or just during the week?
Yeah. Like the weekend. It's like, that Easter weekend.
Oh, it is Easter weekend this weekend.
These kids too. So.
I thought spring break was last week. Is it spring break this or 2 weeks ago?
I know my daughter, she's on spring break now. So her spring break started today.
And when she's in out here?
Yeah, she's out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so I guess different places have their spring breaks at different times because, in Texas, our spring break was like 2 weeks ago.
Dang, that's early.
Is it? Because it's like the second week of March. We're already in the last week of March.
Yeah, I remember our spring breaks were normally around maybe mid to almost the end of the month.
Okay.
So
spring started.
From what I remember.
Yeah.
Can't even keep up with stuff no more.
Yeah, they added and changed snow days and everything like that. It's always something new. It's always something new.
Because even like my daughter's school, there's some days that they just don't have school. It's just like they just don't have school.
And there's no holiday associated with it? It's just no school?
Like, yeah. So sometimes it'll just be like,
teacher's birthday.
Or sometimes teachers will probably hold meetings and stuff. Or so.
Right.
I don't know.
Who knows what's going on? Who knows? People just make up rules and
Yeah.
everybody else follows them. And it's like, okay,
It's to the point we don't even know which way to go.
man, be like that sometimes.
All the time, yeah.
Mm.
Just about all the time.
What you got going on? What you be doing before I go on live? You just be like hanging out, big chilling, or you be on social media already, or what you be doing?
But I be like, watching TV, trying to catch up on some stuff. I'll flip through YouTube and, you know. I mean, it's cool for the most part. I mean, it's like where I live, it's pretty.
You know what I'm gonna ask you about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
How's that book coming? What's that book looking
Well,
like?
well, the book is coming along. I too long or anything like that. Just like a couple days, just to handle some other stuff first. So, but I'll get back into it. I do hold myself.
Oh, you progress consistently with it? Like you track your progress? Like what's that look like?
Well, I mean, it's like I'll sometimes if I can't get something down like that, then I'll just kind of like step back for a second and just kind of like let my mind just you know try to work itself out instead of trying to force it out. And it's like when you try to force something, kind of it doesn't work out the way you want it to if you kind of force it.
So you ever do like exercises where you just like write just for the sake of writing with like no expectations? Like you don't it's not like public or publicized or anything like that. Like it's just for the sake of like
I
exercising
mean,
the creative
for
muscle.
for the most for, for the most part, like when I can't necessarily voice it, so it's like I have to write it. So when I'm like reading it while I'm writing it, in my mind it just write out thoughts. Most of the time, it could be incoherent. How does this look? You know, when I'm writing it together, and then I guess like put like a jigsaw. You start piecing things together and piecing things in the right place.
That's how I feel sometimes. Like sometimes I feel creatively out of shape. I liken it to exercising it, really, like a lot for the sake of producing results, but to get yourself in the state of mind to where you're able to produce results. So I feel like sometimes I just write
Right.
for the sake of writing it and like, knowing that it's not
And
going to
that's
go
good.
anywhere.
And that's good. And that's good. And that's how you know you're not gonna lose it.
Yeah.
You're never gonna lose that.
Right.
And I think that is a good exercise to do. Or get something like I have this book. It's kind of a tablet, but what it does is when you feel like you're stuck, or or you just in that little front, that funk. This prompts.
Mm.
So with these prompts, it'll help you kind of dig in, you know, deep in your mind. Like, yeah, once you read that prompt, it's like, oh, okay, well, I got something here, and get the writing and everything. So, So this is a good thing. Our writer's block, creative block, whatever. This helps kind of dig deep into
Yeah.
in your mind to get you out of that. So this is good. I got this at Barnes
The
Noble.
artist, like there's a whole trilogy.
Huh?
If you've heard of the book,
Which
or
one?
there's a trilogy called Still Like an Artist.
Yeah, I do have that one. I have one of those books to me, and I was like, you know what? Let me check this book out. So I was like, oh, and I was like, dang, this is like literally. It's almost like fingers are pointing at me, like, yeah, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is what you're going through. Keep on reading. So, um, so reading it, I was like, yeah, I am feeling a lot of what some of the book details on, like most times when people are in like a creative block, you're not in the space you should be in. So let's just say, the average household. So with kids, it's like, okay, you gotta find a spot that is like completely quiet, and that's pretty much hard to do when you get. So it's like, okay, in order for you to get into that right mindset, you need to put the distraction elsewhere, and that way you will have some type of ambiance, frequency, white noise type stuff, something that can help focus your mind, clear, not only just focus your mind, but also clear out unnecessary clutter that is making your mind kind of like not want to create anything.
Yeah.
So um, that's one thing, and then also get into a routine,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. And it's like if you don't have a routine, you're not going to be able to function as a writer or music or whatever else. If you, let's just say, best time for you to write something or create something will be like early in the morning. So you'll wake up, maybe 5 or 6 in the morning, get that creative stuff down, do it. Either go back to sleep and rest, or get yourself ready for the day if you work later in the morning. So that type of thing. As long as you have like that type of routine, clockwork wise, and all that, then you should be able to have a creative flow.
Right. Right. Yeah. Routine is important for sure. It's like you don't even have to think. You just be on autopilot. You know. It's like because your subconscious is
Yeah,
really what does the
and
task
then
for you. You know. If you have to use your
true,
conscious though to
true,
push, you
yeah,
that's fatigue right there. You know.
yeah. Mhm. And then of course, like life stuff happens, so it's like, okay, sometimes you will have to like set that aside so you can handle whatever issue or whatever that comes up, but after all of that has settled, dust is settled and all that stuff, then kind of like smooth back into that routine, that way you don't lose it completely.
Yeah. 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 Um, oh, two different things. One reminds me of another called "The War of Art." About like the struggle of being an artist. And actually like doing it. professionally as opposed.
Mhm.
And then a conversation we I don't think we've ever had before about the advancements of technology, especially regarding like AI. What's your take on this whole AI revolution and everything, and how it affects
You know what?
creativity?
There is, just like mostly everything, there is a pro and then there is con. Like, depending on what you're using it for, you know, that's how I feel about it. Depends on what you're using it for. So, um, like for me, I actually tested out a one of those AI apps, and I swear to God, I was like, oh my God, because I was like, you know, I just, playing around with this. So I was like, I want to write a book. So as I entered that, then it went, gave me this whole step by step on what to do, what to write, all this stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, I got it, I got that. And then I ended up writing another prompt, like, okay, this is what my story is about. This is what my story is about. And then it went into like an outline of what my idea is. And I just kept on going and going and going until I was like, dude, this is like literally the outline
Just
this is
wrote the
like the
book.
outline I was like,
Yeah.
so I was like, shoot, okay, this is cool, this is cool. So what I liked about it is the fact that it kind of gave me an idea on the outline that, how to piece everything together, because sometimes whenever I do an outline or do the whole bubble brainstorm, I'd be like, this shit look like this shit.
Yeah.
Like, this don't even make sense. What is this? So with that, it kind of helped me keep everything in order. So like I tell a lot of people dyslexia or anything, but sometimes my brain feels like it because I feel like, oh, this is a good idea. I'll write the idea down, and then I'm just writing, writing, writing. Then I'm like, this doesn't even make no sense. What is this? And it's like all of it is here. It's all here, but I'm sitting up here like literally, I could literally see myself standing on my own brain and trying to piece everything like it's a Soul Train Scrabble board. And I'm like, no. Then I end up scribbling it out, then starting a new draft so it can make sense. And I don't know how many sheets of paper. I don't know how many sheets of paper I wasted trying to
I've
get
gone
like
through it.
one
Yeah.
comprehensive idea.
Yeah.
so so with that app, I was like, okay, at least I won't be as freaked out and try to just rip a page out and be like, okay, this don't make any sense. New draft. So at least I have a definite idea and a definite order how to get the story written down. And then I think using AI for world build, especially those who are trying to create a world, create a new form of language for your story. So it's like that whole fantasy creative world building. So sometimes AI can help with that too. So that's a pro for as far as like AIs. As far as cons, I don't really. I haven't really, you know, I never had. a downside to it. So I can't necessarily say what a downside is. Maybe like will replace, I don't know, certain job opportunities. We don't have any. We have automated tellers and automated call centers where we have to touch stuff just to get through to something else, and that's how it was made. I still use it, so I'm going to continue to use it.
So, question for you, and this is perfect. Seeing that you have, more experience in this. You don't feel like I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You don't feel like there's any potential or risk uh, for being like over dependent on it, and people might.
Well, like you forget how to do things for
Yeah.
yourself. You're going to be codependent on that, and it's straight up, it's fraudulent right there. So me, it's like I'm just using it as an aid, as far as just using it to get example of how a paragraph should look or how long a paragraph should look, that type of thing. So it's like I use it as an aid, not as a coach.
Right.
So and there's a difference to use things as an aid, and then
For
there are
sure.
those that use it as a crutch. So
Definitely.
if you're using things as a crutch, like Teddy Pendergrass said, gotta let it go. Gotta let it go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, there is. I guess there can be a fine line between the two. Some people might not even be able to determine or distinguish. It could be a slippery slope too.
Mm-hmm.
Like drugs.
Yeah,
It's like if you're,
yeah,
yeah, like slip.
and using it, and that goes with life too. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's like we get so dependent on something that we're like we lose ourselves and become completely dependent to where it's like instead of hitting the gas pedal, we're stuck in neutral because you know
It's so many
like
other
that.
things that apply like that too. Like outside of uh, things that aren't necessarily considered, negative, like the pros and cons
Mm-hmm.
of technology and like phones and, dependency on like
Yeah,
GPS and so many other things and food and mass production and
yeah,
mass consumption and, the way that we're living. It's so many,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. What was the name of the app that you use?
It is called
It's
AI
Chat
chat
GPT.
something. Chat something. I have to look at it again. I totally forgot already. Then I got into it too much, so I'm like playing around with it. I'm like, this is kind of cool. It's not bad,
Yeah.
compared to how people use it to write whole essays, whole dissertations, whole business plans, whole any type of proposal, just writing the whole thing to where it's like you know. And then when you use it like that, I don't know. For me, I'm like, if I use it like that to where I'm writing whole novels just on using it, I will feel fake. Like,
We'll probably get to that
you
point
know,
what would I get
You
that?
don't feel as accomplished
Yeah,
as you would like. So it's like, you will feel like I will feel fake if I was to use, an AI bot for all writing,
right.
you know,
And I wonder what
can't do
like
it.
the legal implications are so far as like copywriting and owning and licensing, stuff.
Right. And yeah. And it's like, and sometimes I worry about, sometimes, everything is pretty much, you know, walking this fine line of plagiarism AIs. So it is like a fine line there
It
if you
is
really think about
interesting
it.
the world that we live in today.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you have to deal with. You may not have even five. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so we're just rapidly accelerating our evolution.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
lot to look forward to.
That is true.
You know,
Pretty much
sure the best is yet to come.
true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, so what you're telling me is it should be a lot easier to you for you to write that book, huh? Just
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say easy. I wouldn't say easy, but I will say helpful
yeah,
more than just easy.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
say more helpful than easy.
What are you going for too? Are you looking for like a whole series or just like a one-off, or are you gonna like wait to see when you get to that point, or what? What's like the vision?
Well, I do want to write, like, if I do write anything, like, once I finish this one, I will probably do like a whole series, like a series or something, or multiple series
Yeah,
of books. Basically, of that nature. Um, but I don't want like a super big. I don't want it that big to where it's like I don't want people to get bored because it's so big and it's so long. I don't want to bore people. So I want like a book that is a good size and a good amount of pages. So I don't want to be bored, but I don't want to get finished like that,
right.
So, so I'm definitely like thinking of how long I really want to do a series. Like a 3 book or 4 book, and then end of that series and tackle something else, do something else, or start a new series of something. That type of thing.
Now you do read those big books though yourself, right?
Yeah, I do read those
Yeah,
big books because I like them.
right.
I like them. Like I enjoy those big books because most of them are pretty good, and it gives me like this sense of like, yeah, this is gonna get good. This is gonna be some juicy stuff in here. You get so sucked in to every single word printed. And it doesn't matter if it's fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, all that. It's like as long as you are into it, you're sucked in it. It's like you can't put it down. There you go.
Now what
That's
prevents from feeling like they're boring? Like what keeps you hooked? You know what?
say
Yeah.
that one more time.
So like my point is, you're concerned with people not being entertained, with your book if it's too big or whatever, but at the same time, like you're entertained by the bigger books, So what is it that keeps you entertained, with the bigger books that you feel like yours might be longer or whatever?
Well, I like I said, when it comes to the bigger books or any book, I really don't get bored. I'm not bored with it, and I'm
Just
fan.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm thinking about is the attention span of people, because like now it's like their attention span is like hell, you can't even compare their attention span now. It's just
what I've heard too is it's a lot of things. I'm drawing so many parallels to like drugs and everything right now. uh, what do they call it? Because you already have a engaged audience, you know, uh,
yeah,
the attention span,
yeah,
their aptitude for your content would like grow, with like microdosing
yeah.
content.
And I think what I want to do is on my page, and just see how people are drawn to it. Even if they don't have to comment or anything or whatever else, I just want to see how many views
Yeah.
it'll get. And if they do leave comment, great. Feedback is much needed, and or anything, just that's what I need to start doing is like just posting little stuff, um, just micro stuff, nothing too over. I'm just gonna try to do something different, something
Like
small, just to see how people would
right.
react
Yeah.
to it.
Right. Just like with singles, and musicians, we have to release,
And
microdose singles and
and that's another thing. They're not even doing full albums now. It's like
right.
they're doing
It's a compilation of
EPs
singles.
and singles, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like that either.
why? I mean,
For numbers, it makes
I
sense
don't
for
know.
like these major artists, like that makes sense. They're not really interested in the art as much as they are, the numbers, and looking good should be totally different. It depends.
I think also the money that they save
Yeah.
by doing one single, I
Right.
guess, because I know it costs a lot of money just to produce, promote a whole album. Like,
And then you have to focus all that time and
and the time
yeah.
and the time that takes to do it, and how long you have to do it. And it's like, oh no.
I don't know if I'm doing it. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Then they want you to release like bits and pieces of songs and everything like that. And it's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if we're talking art, like at least I could speak on my relationship with my art, but it's like everything is different, like meet people or books or media or whatever. It's like your relationship with everything is different. You don't have the same relationship. It's not like you're a factory, you know, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
these things are like inspired, it's because you don't have the same, but
Okay.
bounce here, bounce out.
Okay.